Biztech's Asia's hottest startup show. Now, we feature hot startups across Asia, sharing their entrepreneurial journeys and sharing with us why they, just maybe, Asia's next tech unicorns. Now, today we feature a B2B SaaS-based business process compliance startup, Boombirds. And our guests today are Bojarajan Pasupathy, now founder and CEO, who's out of India, and Jonathan Kidd, co-founder and COO, who's based in Australia. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brian. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Now, Boja, walk us through what Bloomberg does.
Yeah, Boombirds is a business process compliance SaaS. We help our clients to digitally transform all their manual standard operating procedures to ensure compliance, whether it's office-based or field-based process, to improve the governance and reduce the risk. And this is quite important because when SMB owners grow their business, they get overwhelmed with day-to-day operations because most of their processes are still run manually using emails, WhatsApp, Excel sheets, and even paper forms at times. And that's really a bottleneck for growth. And when the organizations grow, the SMB owners get overwhelmed and lack visibility in their operations. And when they have field staff, it's almost a blind spot for them. And we help them to implement Boombirds and digitize all their manual standard operating procedures, right, to get the benefits of digital transformation. Now,
is your solution only an SME-focused solution, or is that an enterprise version as well?
Yeah, though majorly we see 80% of the customer base in the long run, like in a period of 10 years, we'll see that comes from the SMBs. We have consciously designed the product to also address the enterprise segment, right? Because enterprise also have a lot of gaps in their business because their core is taken care of by ERPs, MRPs, and CRMs. But there are a lot of supporting processes which are still run manually in their operations today. And having recognized that gaps, they're going to fill those gaps with Boombirds to ensure that they also digitally transform all of that process which is still run using SharePoint or Excel sheets or emails into a digital platform like Boombirds.
Okay, John, now over to you. How did both of you and your co-founder, Danny Lim, get together? And how do you all operate out of Australia, Singapore, and India?
Yeah, it's an interesting story, Brian. The common denominator actually is the fact that Boja's worked with both Danny and myself. So Boja started his career, his early career in Singapore, and he worked closely with Danny for over 6 years. And Boja and I actually worked together for 4 years when I was based in Singapore too. So, so we've obviously built a strong bond in the last few years. In terms of working remotely, obviously that just seems to be the modus operandi for most organizations now. The plan for me was always to come back to Australia. And, you know, we always plan to build remote teams. So during COVID, we transformed to a fully remote team in any case. Even the team in India obviously is working from home.
Okay, I see. And how big is your team right now?
So the team is approximately 20, along with the co-founders.
Okay, and who's funding your up to this point of time?
So at this point, it's been essentially we bootstrapped. So we used to offer professional services, and the revenues that we generated from that helped to fund the business, along with obviously some personal investments from the co-founders.
Okay, excellent. Now, Boja, walk us through your business model and how you make money, basically.
Yeah, so we used to make, as what John said, we used to make money through our professional services business, like which helped us to bootstrap the product. And since the product is now developed and we have MVP launched last year in the middle of COVID, we consciously de-scoped the professional services business unit from our side to allow us to focus completely on Boombirds, and we use our own money to bootstrap the product market fit activities during the last year. So, to answer your question on the business model, the market that we serve is the retail ecosystem, and the retail ecosystem consists of service providers like professional firms, manufacturers, logistics, retail brands, and distributors. We chose this market because in my first startup, I was an SMB owner myself and have hands-on experience on running the business, and I know the pain points of the SMB owners, right? And that was the inspiration of me developing Boombirds. today to help other SMB owners in this ecosystem. And for SMBs, we do offer the product in a very affordable SaaS model, and that starts with $5 to $24 in a tiered pricing based on what kind of problem they wanted to solve, whether it's in back office operations or field operations or retail operations. So we have different solutions packaged, and they could choose from $5 to $14 to $18 to $24 or $10 depending on the problem they're going to solve. But when it comes to the enterprise segment, we do offer more sophisticated services by providing implementation as a service and also integration services for upstream and downstream integrations with the ecosystem.
Okay, but John, okay, let me pose this question to John. What is the size of the opportunity that you all are addressing?
So I think in terms of the SMB space, it's huge. I think we see the total addressable market is 95 million SMBs in the core focus countries we're looking at, the 12 focus countries. And we're looking to serve around 10,000 of those SMBs in the next 5 years. So I think there's a huge market there, and they're underserved. SMB owners in this day and age, post-COVID or still in COVID, they're underserved, and they're looking for technological solutions to their manual day-to-day operations.
Okay, John, your solutions, and I took a look at your deck and your website. Your solutions basically overlap several competitors. So it's everything from Comply to DoneSafe to Pipefy to Asana. They all overlap with you. So who do you regard as your key competitors?
Yeah, I think we look at 3 different elements as competitors. And I think we sit in the business process management space. We believe for a while we were a BPM. So Asana, Monday, Kissflow, we do compete against them when we're talking to firms who already are using technology. But because of our emphasis on compliance, they actually see us as a stronger solution because the others are more fluid planning, whereas obviously organizations want their employees to follow the steps they put in place. As far as the other space, the governance risk compliance space, Know Before, Be Comply, as you mentioned, Audit Board, they're more on the enterprise side and they're more on the control side. Whereas again, we're more looking at the sort of SMB space, and we're looking to serve internal operating procedures and compliance, not just external regulations. And I think the third thing, sorry, just to...
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, just to add, the third thing actually, which is probably our main competitor in all honesty, is status quo. People are kind of happy with what they've been doing for a while. Their manual processes work in inverted commas, but because there's a new generation of people that are inheriting the business from their fathers, they see the opportunity for technology. Sorry. Okay,
then can I ask, what is the compelling value, and either one of you can answer this question, what compelling value do you deliver to your customers so that it's quantifiable, especially to SME owners who are basically a very tough sell?
Yeah. So I think we are an operations management software for them. So which means it's not a vitamin, it's a painkiller, right, for SMBs. And I would summarize the values in 3 topics. One is compliance, right? We ensure they could define their procedures very simply and ensure the compliance when the service gets fulfilled. And the second one is accountability, right? And the third, we ensure accountability with their teams because the productivity is completely measured. The time tracking will be automatically happening as they use the software. So the employees will feel more accountable when they start using Boombirds in their operations because everything is tracked and reported on. Right? And that creates self-organized teams, which will improve the productivity of their staffs. And that will directly contribute to increased profitability in the business. And the third one, I would say, is the governance with a much better view on what's actually happening in your operation. We call this a bird's eye view. You can actually improve your governance in your operations and without putting so much of effort. Your data is literally on the screen. With bird's eye view, you can see that in different dimensions and you can resolve the bottlenecks wherever it is. So I think these are the 3 compelling value propositions that we give to the SMBs, which are critical for them. And we have seen our customers giving testimonials to us, and when they use our software, they have seen 30% improvement in their productivity, and they've literally reduced some of their staffs, right, and that gave them a bit more profitability in their business. And one of our customers have said that their operational chaos, right, in communications have gone down by 50%, which gave them the peace of mind to run the business. And what do entrepreneurs do when they have peace of mind? They put all their energy in growing their business, and that directly contributes to the increased revenue opportunities for the business as well. So we do help them to improve both the top line and bottom line, right, for the businesses, and they would really see it after they start using Boombirds effectively in their operations.
Okay, that's interesting. And let's talk a little bit about your customers. Now, I noticed that you've got over 30 customers across the region. Could you just give me some examples of customers and what you do for them?
Yeah, sure. So we, as I've said, we just crossed the pre-revenue stage, and we are at the early stages of generating revenue. So we have 31 paying customers in 5 different countries: Australia, Malaysia, Indonesia, UAE, and India. And these are all SMBs, and most of them are professional firms, right? And who are typically in the size of 15 to 20 employees, and 20 is a sweet spot for us, right? Because that's when the problem really gets bigger, and they need some kind of tool to manage. And I think with the impact of COVID and remote work, so I think the effective remote team management is essential now, and professional firms are one of those guys who are in front of computers, and they can be easily transformed into a digital way of managing the operations. So I think that's where we see the sweet spot on who we serve now. And we also won, in the middle of COVID, we also did a POC with Henkel Singapore for implementing health and safety environment compliance management in their factories. And I'm really glad to say that we have recently won the contract with them to do a pilot implementation in a couple of sites back in December, and the project is work in progress now, and we're going live by end of February and early March in a couple of sites, and targeting to implement to 30 different factories in APAC in 2021.
Okay, let's drill down into that. And Henkel is a big name globally, right. German company and stuff. Why did they choose you? What was it, and who did you compete against to win that award?
Yeah, I think we were found by Henkel. We are fortunate enough to be part of the Singapore startup ecosystem, and then Henkel found us when the COVID started, and they were exploring opportunities to see, like, hey, it looks interesting, like what do you guys offer? And we do explain to them about a lot of solutions, like all the solutions that we can offer, and especially emphasis on the compliance aspects. And I think they love the way that we embraced lean methodology into the product design very thoroughly. And because as a manufacturing firm, manufacturing firms are very fond of lean methodologies, and that was the first connect I think we got with Henkel. And I think with our simple to use UX and UI design, they really got impressed with that. And one of the key comments that one of the key stakeholders that was involved in the project have made is our ability to quickly turn around and do a fitment into their use case. Right, we did a POC in less than 6 weeks and proved to them on how Boombirds could be adapted for their health and safety environment compliance management, which was, to be honest, was not in our plan prior to COVID. And this naturally happened, and we really took a quick pivot to ensure that we can also address the manufacturing segment on this particular use case, which was more of a discovery, and that turned into a contract, and that's going to be the next biggest segment that we're going to serve in this space.
Okay, now over to you, Jon. Who are your key partners that is going to help you to ensure execution success? Who do you work with across the region?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I think obviously you learn from your experience, and we did attempt value-added resellers. We did look at companies that sell other software, and realistically, it's just, I'm sure you and others will be familiar, it's too early for that. We don't yet have that kind of cookie cutter approach. So our approach now is to look at 2 types of partner. One, industry associations. So who are already serving the customers that we wish to serve, but not competing. And we can add value through our experience, and also obviously through adopting Boombirds. And secondly, we recognize that there's a huge opportunity for strategic integrations with other SaaS marketplaces. So Freshworks, Xero, to name a few, these are all, again, upstream, downstream applications that a lot of our customers are using. So the opportunity to be present in their marketplaces is something that we have in our strategy.
Okay, what do you see are the execution risk in terms of moving forward in 2021 for you, in terms of growth?
Yeah, so I think we deliberately chose the SEA market or APAC market because we feel that, as I shared earlier, they're majorly underserved and people are open for digital transformation. I think the sort of barriers to entry or the challenges around execution are more in the mature markets. So as we want to move into the US and Europe, we recognize that their expectations are going to be higher. They're already probably likely to have adopted technology, even if they're a small SMB, similar to the ones we target in Asia. So their expectations are higher, and therefore, again, that's why it comes back to those integrations. We see the way to meet that is to extend our capability to help them to see the extra value.
So your go-to-market strategy is working together within the markets that you're already in. Is that right? And going direct, not by channels.
Yes, correct. We're not using channels. We're actually, to be honest, our number one channel right now is LinkedIn prospecting, and it's working well. We're having very constructive conversations with prospects. And obviously in the future, we do have ideas on how to enable product-led growth through the application, which will ultimately provide better growth opportunity.
Now over to Boja, you're looking to raise money. How much are you looking to raise, and what sort of valuation are you doing it at?
Yeah, we plan to raise $2.5 million in total at $8 million valuation. And this is for a 2.5 years plan that will give us a 2.5 years.
So that's runway. 2.5 years of runway?
That's right, 2.5 years of runway. Our first tranche is actually 750K is what we are looking at, right, for 15 months plan to bring us into the stage like where we can generate 500K ARR. Right, and the second year, by next year, we look forward to raise 1.75 million. That will help us to grow the business further and accelerate the growth there, so that we can get into a profitable stage by year 3. So, and that's when.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. So you're looking to be profitable in year 3. What sort of turnover?
Yeah, in year 3 we are looking at $3.8 million, right, as a turnover, right? In year 2 we are looking at 3.8. And year 3, we are looking at $8.8 million as a turnover, because our product-led growth will start kicking in by year 2. And we also have a very interesting strategy on introducing a digital marketplace for SMBs in year 3, and that will accelerate our growth further. And that's what's going to bring us like the revenue that we are targeting.
Okay. What is this idea in terms of, you said it's an interesting idea in year 3.
Yeah, that's the digital marketplace. Yeah, so we would like to create a digital marketplace ecosystem for the SMBs, right? For example, if you are a manufacturer sitting in India, right, and you have an export order in Angola, in Africa, and you have worked with the freight forwarder in South Africa, right? So, and like the export order, like basically the client in Angola, might be linked to 10 different players, and you want to find a transporter or a haulier next to them to move the goods, right, from the port to the client location. And in the marketplace, you can basically do a search, and you will be able to find who is linked, which particular SMB is linked to the SMBs that you have worked with before. So I think that would create a kind of a network effect for us. So where you will not just transform your business using Boombirds, right? You will also be able to grow your business using our marketplace. And I think that will enable a seamless collaboration between SMBs, right, and grow their business effectively using Boombirds.
Okay, so you're looking to raise, and coming back to your fundraising, you're looking to raise 750,000 US. Where are you at in this tranche? Where are you at in terms of your fundraising?
We were bootstrapped all the way until this point with our own money and with our friends and families investments at this point. So I think we are open for seed investments now for the 750K and the pre-series of 1.75 million. And we are talking to many investors, and we have like 4 to 5 interested early stage VCs in pipeline, and we are in second stage discussions and third stage discussions with them. And we're looking forward to close this round by February and March timeframe.
Okay, and I wish you the very best in your funding moving forward. But what is the exit strategy for an investor? What are you looking at for them?
Yeah, sure. So I think, as I told you, we are at the seed stage right now. So we have bootstrapped all the while. And the next one is pre-series A. And obviously anybody who is coming into the seed and pre-series A. So the third stage that we wanted to, like once we achieve the profitability in the business by 2023-24 financial year. So we will be raising the series A funds for scaling up the business. And then by 2025-26 is our series B, right? Planned for growing the business into a $100 million revenue business, right? And then by 27-28 is probably the Series E, right? I think these are the exit points that the early stage investors could probably take an exit, and the eventual exit could probably be either in two directions. It could be an IPO, which I wish, right? Or it could be a strategic acquisition by one of the strategic players in the market, actually, like who could probably enhance their offerings to the SMBs, right, through our ecosystem.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time and good luck in your fundraising and all the best in executing your business.
Thank you so much, Brian, for this opportunity.
Thanks very much, Brian. Thanks for having us.
We've been speaking to Bojarajan Pasupathy, founder and CEO, as well as Jonathan Kidd, co-founder and COO of Boombirds, based out of India, Australia, and Singapore, on Biztech's Asia's hottest startup show. I'm Brian Fernandez. Check out www.biztech.asia for business and technology conversations.